Do you guys have like a very specific quality that you look for in men?
This is by no means something I would ask on a first date, but if I've been talking to them for a little while, I'm interested in knowing, in their own words, why their past relationships failed. I'm going to go into this conversation generally on the woman's side. So if they come at it from the angle of she was crazy, she was too needy, she was too sensitive, I think that's a major red flag and mostly tell on who they are and how they treat and interact with women. I would take it as a good sign if they could respectfully and with emotional maturity explain why they think their relationships might not have worked out without tearing down the partner. This isn't to say that men can't be in relationships with women that are toxic and manipulative or abusive, but I just think generally the way that the man speaks about it says a lot about them.
Do you guys have like a very specific quality that you look for in men?
Okay, this one is a little specific because I've had guys not do this for me and guys do this for me, but it just kind of makes me like, It's when they drop you off at night and they don't leave until you get into your house. Like, I've had a guy actually pull away, like, drive away before I even got in my house. And to me, like, if you don't wait until I get in my house, something's up with you. I don't know.
Do you guys have like a very specific quality that you look for in men?
This is gonna sound funny, but men who do not speak. There are men, and I find them every single time. There are men that speak when spoken to. And it's not that like I don't like men that speak, but men that do not speak recognize the fact that they don't need to talk all the time. Whereas a vast majority of men will speak because it's silent. Men who do not speak have enough self-awareness to know, hey, I don't need to talk right now. And that lets me know that they have enough self-awareness to recognize what's wrong with them as well. They'll know when they're doing something wrong.
Okay, I looked good for like 2 days. That's over now. We're back to this. So let's get into it. Do you guys have like a very specific quality that you look for in men that lets you know that you can trust them? Because for me, there's a checklist. All right. The first is minimal social media presence. I do not trust men with social media platforms. I do not trust them. The second thing is an Android phone. If you have an Android phone and you're a man, I trust you. I do not trust men with iPhones. Absolutely not. No. And the third one is if you didn't grow up ugly, I do not trust you. First of all, ugly people are funnier. That's what we're doing here. Second of all, men who know that they're attractive just treat women so differently. So you just need to have a little ugly in you. And even if you had a glow up, that's fine. But just like childhood ugliness is a requirement. Quality that you look for in men that lets you know that you can trust them.
Being open to letting me enjoy the things that I like without being condescending. I like trashy reality TV. Love Island is one of my favorites. I love One Direction and Harry Styles. I also really love astrology. You don't need to like those things. You don't need to get them, but it is so respectful to let me be open about them and talk about them without the fear of being judged.
Do you guys have like a very specific quality that you look for in men?
So this may come off different because I'm gay, but a dude that does not talk about sex. That you can talk for hours and hours and hours and hours on end. No sex joke, no sex references, nothing about sex. A guy that can do that can automatically be trusted, at least in my experience, because they're more genuine of a person. And they're not just being like, horny on main.
Do you guys have like a very...
Yeah, and that quality is specifically the way he listens to how I speak about being a woman and women in general. My example is, if you talk about feminine hygiene and he goes like, ew, or oh my god, or just seems uncomfortable, no, drop, he's gone, he's left, I don't know who he is, what, I'm blind, I can't see anybody, yeah. But if he's the gem to want to listen more and goes like, yes, oh my god, that's lovely, or you women deserve more,
Do you guys have like a very specific quality that you look for in men?
I'd like to preface this by saying that I don't know if I'll ever fully be able to trust a man, but if he adores cats, that's a positive in my eyes. I think it's very easy to love dogs, but liking cats requires a little bit more character. So, pussy power to you, sir.
Do you guys have like a very specific quality that you look for in men?
I haven't actually done this firsthand. However, I have seen on the internet how this plays out. Watch 500 Days of Summer together. If the guy thinks that Zooey Deschanel's character is a villain, that is a red flag.
Do you guys have like a very specific quality that you look for in men?
Yes, so ladies, I have the secret to this one. If you want to find out if a man is trustworthy or not, it only takes one question. All you have to do is ask him, do you want to watch Ratatouille with me? And if he says no, he's not it. Dump him, sis. If a man cannot appreciate Ratatouille for the cinematic masterpiece that it is, can't trust him, period.
Do you guys have like a very specific quality that you look for in men?
Curiosity. Not the you're not like other girls type. When he expresses genuine curiosity around something that I said. He's more likely to have a healthy, balanced ego, communication skills, more likely to respect women. I think you almost have to have self-love in order to be in a place of curiosity. I know there are a lot of inauthentic adjacents between like narcissistic love bombing to extreme people pleasing, but if he has genuine curiosity, I probably trust that man.
Specific quality that you look for in men that lets you know that you can trust them?
Okay, the way that they treat their shoes, it'll tell you whether or not they're a narcissist. Okay, that's a joke. The volume that they listen to their music at. Like, if they have to blast it, something's not okay with their thoughts, you know? Like, they just can't deal with being alone. Anyone who has a long phone password, like, what are you trying to hide? I used to do it because it was, like, fun, the patterns, and then I realized, no, the fun part is getting into it easy, so why a long password? The type of Halloween costumes they suggest, because that'll tell you if they're toxic or have masculinity issues. Okay, so the way that they introduce me to their friends, even if we're just friends, what they do before they answer a phone call from their mom, and their opinions on the moon landing, and yes, that's serious because I need to know how they think of conspiracies.
Do you guys have like a very specific quality that you look for in men?
Yes, so I call it the Scrabble test, and it works with pretty much any special interest game or hobby. Mine just happens to be Scrabble. I love words. I love anagrams. I will watch 8 out of 10 Cats Does Countdown with a pen and paper in my hand trying to make the best words that I can. I also love the clicky-clacky feeling of the tiles. It's very sensory. Like, it's my favorite game. And this stems from an ex-boyfriend who played Scrabble with me twice and lost by around 200 points both games, and very angrily refused to play with me after that. Because he knew he was going to lose. He would play with other people, but not me, because he knew he would lose. So this is how my theory goes. If you're good with words, but you will play my favorite game with me, 10 out of 10, we're going to have a great time. You're an equal match. If you're not good with words and you will still play my favorite game with me because it's a game I can't play by myself, and because you know I'm going to enjoy it, like, even, it's not the competitive aspect, it's because I enjoy the game.
Some weirdly specific things that you consider to be red flags in men.
Okay, boom. So exes are all light skin or white. I'm obviously dark skin, so it's not gonna work. Not ready for a relationship. Then why would you pursue me in the first place? Invites you over to theirs as a first date. It's too forward. It's too soon. Like, sir, I've just met you. You need to slow down. Ask you what you want to do on the first date. You're the one who pursued me, so why am I coming up with things to do on our date? Emphasize the fact that they're a nice guy. If you're a nice guy, you don't need to tell the world that you're a nice guy. Too sexual too soon. Doesn't clean the house upon your arrivals. Disrespectful. Shows lack of care, lack of attention. It's like, who raised you? Lives vicariously through American rappers. So you're from the UK. Has a child. So you need to go look after your youth before engaging in a relationship. Always on Twitter and Clubhouse. Ill. No stable source of income. I'm not being a come-up woman. I'm not engaged in struggle love. If you don't have money, you should be entertaining a relationship. Always talking about how women are after their money when they are broke, so no one's checking for you. Pursued you first and then acting like you pursued them. The worst type of men.
What are some weirdly specific things that you consider to be red flags in men?
If he comments under Instagram meme pages, That's a hate crime. That's terrorism. I will not. He constantly talks about how scary movies don't scare him and he finds them stupid. Like, do you want a cookie? I don't care. If he lists The Wolf of Wall Street, Fight Club, you already know where this is going. Fight Club or Pulp Fiction as one of his top 3 favorite movies, that is self-explanatory. I'm not even going to expand on that. If they hate cats and love dogs, no, that's a red flag. I'm so sorry. You don't want a girl. You want a pet. If he says I'm the only girl he finds funny, ew. If I put on Baby by Justin Bieber and he's not screaming at the top of his lungs and he says, oh, turn that gay shit off or whatever, I'm running and I'm never looking back. Lastly, if he defends billionaires, you will die in that hood. You will die broke and you will die alone. Do you understand?
What are some weirdly specific things that you consider to be red flags in men?
Okay, I saw a girl do this and she said that if you can relate to Ted Mosby from How I Met Your Mother, immediate red flag. And to that, I'd like to add Ross Geller from Friends. Absolutely fucking not.
What are some weirdly specific things that you consider to be red flags in men?
If you're always posting and fantasizing about light-skinned women, like, I'm brown, I'm not light-skinned, so, like, why are you chatting to me? If you're always posting inspirational quotes, like, get money, fuck bitches, like, what are you doing? Resellers, because I think resellers are mad selfish, like, no. If you're posting semi-square, that means you're not even the plug. You're the middleman. Like, are you not embarrassed? Like, boys that say they've never had a girl or been in a proper relationship, like, so then why are you talking to me? I'm not here to teach you how to, like, be in a relationship. Why are you chatting to me? No. If he doesn't know how to address women properly, like, he calls them bitches, things. If he doesn't know how to dress, like, at your big age, you know how to put outfits together. Like, what the fuck? If he follows Justin LeBoy, that means you're toxic AF. If he has more than 200 followers on Insta, like, If he always complains about the prices of stuff, gives me cheapskate vibes. Like, I get everyone wants to save money, but come on.
What are some weirdly specific things that you consider to be red flags in men?
I swear to God, this has worked for me every single time. If you're far left, like, leaning, and you want to see if the person you're talking to will have similar views to you, ask this question. Ask them how they feel about rap. Alright? If they say they hate rap, that's a weird sign. If there's someone who just doesn't listen to rap like that, but they know a few rap songs and they like, they can listen to rap, like they have some songs on their Spotify, they're okay. And then if there's someone who, like, really likes rap, ask them if they listen to female rap artists. And if they say no, that's a red flag. Those are two of the biggest red flags. If they hate rap, that's a red flag. If they like rap, but they don't listen to female rap artists, that's a red fucking flag, bro. I swear.
What are some weirdly specific things that you consider to be red flags in men?
If he doesn't have a headboard, if his favorite sushi is a California roll, if he has Apple Music instead of Spotify, if he owns flip-flops, period. If he pronounces the L in salmon. If at any point he texts me, hey pretty lady. If he thinks that liking pineapple on pizza is a personality trait. If he quotes The Office too much. Actually, if he quotes The Office at all. If he has ever participated in SantaCon. If he shaves his chest. And lastly, and most importantly, if his name begins with a fucking J.
What are some weirdly specific things that you consider to be red flags in men?
Girls, I got you. If he's always going out to eat and he's just posting food on his story like this, major red flag. I promise you he's with a girl. He just doesn't want people to see. If he's a Sagittarius, what more should I say? Red flag. He has that stupid TikTok hairstyle. Big red flag.
What are some weirdly specific things that you consider to be red flags in men?
Guys that don't want to compliment you or don't want you to think that you're nice, just a bit weird. Follows more people than has followers, just beggish vibes. Any type of quote that's got to do with a woman sticking by your side or being a hustler, shut the fuck up. Resellers, because you're selfish, plain and simple. Guys that have never been in a proper relationship before, because that's just very scary vibes. We're at very, very big ages. Why have you not been in a relationship before? Want to be toxic guys. Future's not your dad, not your friend. He's not coming to your wedding. Get a grip. Guys whose exes look absolutely nothing like me. You have no business talking to me if your ex does not look like me. Leave me alone. I don't want to hear trying something new. No, I'm not going to be the test. Guys that always want to put their 2 pence in the comments. I didn't ask. No one else did either, so shush. Fraud niggas and trappers because it's okay to make legal money, and guys that pretend they've got it like that or refer to women as bitches.
A very specific quality that you look for in men that, like,
Absolutely, I do, and it is guys who grew up with sisters and sisters only. Because let me tell you, guys who grew up with all brothers are terrifying, genuinely. Bonus points if all of the sisters are older than you and they all kind of have big personalities, because those men, generally speaking, are just unfazed and are a tier above the rest. I'll say it.
Do you guys have like a very specific quality that you look for in men?
Yes, I do actually. So from now on, when I am dating a guy or when I'm starting to see someone, whatever you want to call it, what I do and what I'm going to do on for the future is I'm going to fake him out. And what I mean by that is when it comes time to I want to have sex with this man, I'm going to build a tension. I'm going to be, making out with him or whatever. And as soon as it gets to that step, I'm going to pull I'm not ready yet. Wait, can we just wait a little bit? And see his reaction. Observe men, observe how men react and how they treat you when they don't get what they want. I know people are gonna be like, oh, that's so cruel, that's so fucked up. But no, I wanna see who I'm trusting with my body, and I wanna see how you're gonna react if I say no. If you're gonna throw a hissy fit, then obviously, time to get the fuck out. Yeah, that's what I do.
Do you guys have like a very specific quality that you look for in men?
Ask a man how he feels about Elon Musk. Because the Venn diagram of men who idolize Elon Musk versus men who are condescending to you even when you're right is a circle.
Do you guys have like a very specific quality that you look for in men?
Yeah, I ask the guys I'm dating to explain a concept to me. A good guy will just explain it. And an asshole will be super condescending and make you feel dumb for not knowing what you asked about. It's foolproof.
Do you guys have like a very specific quality that you look for in men?
Always ask, can you hold my purse? And if they do one of these, just 6 inches away from their body, just so visibly uncomfortable, literally can't continue the conversation, run. They do one of these. Yeah? Cool, calm, collected. It's a keeper.
Do you guys have like a very specific quality that you look for in men?
Always ask, can you hold my purse? And if they do one of these, just 6 inches away from their body, just so visibly uncomfortable, literally can't continue the conversation, run. They do one of these. Yeah? Cool, calm, collected. It's a keeper.
Do you guys have like a very specific quality that you look for in men?
Yes, I do. And this is specifically for swiping on people on Bumble or Tinder. But I like to look at their music taste, but not for the way that you might think. I like to see if they have any female artists in their top few artists or anthems, because it's a lot harder to find than you'd think. I'll show you. Okay, so I just swiped on Bumble for 5 minutes and screenshotted all of the top artists that I could find. I'm not saying anything about their music taste, but no woman. No woman. No woman. No woman. No woman. No woman. It kind of doesn't matter, but also I feel like if guys don't listen to women musically, they won't listen to me.
Do you guys have like a very specific quality that you look for in men?
So when I'm talking to guys and they ask me, so you have a boyfriend or anything? And I answer no. I ask them the exact same question back. Do you have a boyfriend or anything? Their reaction tells me everything I need to know. If they get offended or get weird about it, then I'm like, oh, okay. And so far, out of all people, only one has responded, oh no, I have a girlfriend. Everyone else has been like, I'm not gay. How would you think I'm gay? Bro, calm down. It's okay to be gay.
You guys have like a very specific quality that you look for in men?
Silence. No talking. No opinions. Just silence, baby.
Do you guys have like a very specific quality that you look for in men?
It's going to sound strange, it's going to sound simplistic, but we have to remember the bar is on the floor. I know that if a man uses punctuation correctly, he will definitely let me down gently. This is not to say that he won't break my heart. At the end of the day, he's a man. What can we expect? But if he uses commas, if he uses colons, semicolons in the right places, at the right times, I know that he is not going to break me in as much of a soul-crushing manner as a man who does not know correct grammar. You know what I'm saying?
Do you guys have like a very specific quality that you look for in men?
Men who have straight, single and available women friends who are not related to them. My reason for this is when a man can only become friends with a woman through a situation, for example, because she's a family member, or she's the girlfriend or wife of a friend, or her sexuality means she's attracted to other women rather than men, it indicates to me that he only feels safe to become friends with a woman once her sexual availability is taken away. I take that to mean that he views women as a sexual being first rather than as an individual human being. And that paradigm may hold other misogynistic ideas, which makes it difficult for me to trust him. I'm a big advocate for men having real, quality, genuine friendships with women, so it makes me trust them.
Do you guys have like a very specific quality that you look for in men?
Yes. If I had figured this out years ago, it would have saved me so much angst. Seriously. Does he have a sister that he's close with? That's all. Alternatively, a best friend who's like a sister. Bonus points for both. It's obviously not a hard and fast rule, but it is a really good indication of how well he treats women.
Do you guys have like a very specific quality that you look for in men? That
when you Google him and the only social media he has is LinkedIn and a Quora account that he uses to like answer questions about statistics or something.
You guys have like a very specific quality that you look for in men?
This is not guaranteed to find you the love of your life, but it is going to guarantee that the men that you date will be better quality and you're not going to have as much of a tough time while breaking up if things don't work out. When I was single, I would not date any man who talk negatively about their exes. You know when you're getting to know somebody and you're like, well, what happened in your last relationships? How did things end? What did you think? Blah, 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 blah. If any man was like, she was such a bitch and she treated me like shit and oh my God, I could never do anything right, etc., etc. O sea, if he was always playing the victim in his head, thinking that you were somehow gonna be like, oh my God, don't worry, I'll take care of you. That probably just means his ex had boundaries and she wouldn't let him get away with shit. So if you try to have boundaries, he's gonna do the same thing to you and just be like, oh my God, I'm the victim. Please take care of me. How dare you be so mean and not want to see me and not allow me to cheat on you. So look for the way he talks about his exes.
Do you guys have like a very specific quality that you look for in men?
Ask a man what he thinks about small dogs. If a man doesn't like small dogs, if he calls them rat dogs or not even real dogs, he's got issues with toxic masculinity. I don't know how that relates, but it always is the case. I trust men who also like small dogs.
Some weirdly specific things that you consider to be red flags in men.
All right, so I'm really good at finding faults in men who really don't have faults, so this is something I am good at. So the first one is any man who has ever made their Instagram bio washed up D1 athlete. You are 28, Tyler. Let's move on. You are not in the NFL or the NBA. It's time for us to move past this, okay? Next, men who find any way to ask you about what kind of car you drive, even if it has nothing to do with anything, and they're not even car guys. I don't even, like, they want to talk about the car you drive. It's weird. You know the guy, they always want to bring up what kind of car everyone drives, but they're not even, like, car people. They don't work on cars. There's no reason for them to be asking this. Red flag, immediately leave. Thirdly, men who are oddly obsessed with Drake, and will continue talking about how great Drake is and whatever. Sus. Immediately no. I could keep going, but I'm running out.
What are some weirdly specific things that you consider to be red flags in men?
Okay, so when they're way too sexual, way too early on, I find that so scary, so weird. No sort of ambition whatsoever. Like, why do you not care where we're going to be in 5-10 years time? When they only text you at night, like, chill out. Like, I know what you're doing. Your body count over 3, and I say 3 because 4 is a drag. Like, why have you had sex with that many girls? Because if it was the other way around, you wouldn't like it. when you aren't even their type. Like, I know I'm not your type, you know I'm not your type, so what's we really doing here? I'm IFAs. If you're atheist, it's not gonna work. So keen on taking your V card, like why? I'm not gonna give it to you. Give it to the rest. Always in women's business. Ew, yuck. Always defending the opposite race in debates about colorism, cultural appropriation, blackfishing. You're always defending them, saying it's not that deep. I find that so weird. When they're still cool with their ex, nah. Like, why? Why? When they called their ex crazy, yeah, long day. Red flag. Like, you made her crazy and you're not about to make me crazy with her.
What are some weirdly specific things that you consider to be red flags in men?
So the biggest red flag I have learned out of my 22 years of life is don't trust a man that doesn't like sushi, because 1, he has immature taste buds, and 2, he'll cheat on you.
What are some weirdly specific things that you consider to be red flags in men?
Do I have scientific backing with this particular red flag? No. Are there research papers that have been done on it? No. But do I 100% stand by this? Yes. Every single fibre in my body, I believe it. If a man has ever stepped out, been unfaithful to, or cheated on his barber, I don't trust him. Red flag. I mean, what? A man who can cheat on his barber nilly-willy is a man who just... He holds loyalty to no one. You know? To... Not a soul on this planet. It's a red flag for me. I can't explain it. I don't know why. And I'm sure you know. I'm sure you get it. You understand. But no, not for me.
What are some weirdly specific things that you consider to be red flags in men?
Okay, this works for anyone you meet on a dating app. Any gender, doesn't matter. You initiate the conversation with a gift from this scene. Obi-Wan Kenobi, Star Wars, you're familiar. If they respond with some variation of General Kenobi, the GIF, the text, whatever, green flag, they're in the clear. If they opt to compliment your Star Wars knowledge, they're on thin fucking ice. If they say anything about them being impressed because you're a girl, instant red flag. If they say literally anything else, I will generally continue the discussion just so that I can personally assess why they didn't say General Kenobi at me, which is the obvious answer. But it's not an instant red flag, you know?
What are some weirdly specific things that you consider to be red flags in men?
When a grown-ass man can look me in the face and tell me that he doesn't eat vegetables, like as a general habit, just doesn't eat them.
What are some weirdly specific things that you consider to be red flags in men?
Well, shall we? First of all, I can't actually like a guy unless his apartment is covered in books, but more specifically, those books should not all be about being rich and manipulating people. I'm not gonna act like I don't own a Robert Greene book, but that's not all I have. Let's get some fiction, let's get some philosophy. When I call another girl pretty and he immediately goes, "You're prettier." Oh, I was not aware that I was competing with her. Why don't I compete with you instead? Because you're a soft 6. He calls himself a gentleman or old-fashioned for doing literally the bare minimum. You took me out? That's so sweet, because you want to date me, and that's literally what dating is. Men with bad taste in comedy literally do not exist to me. If you like Chris D'Elia or Joe Rogan, you have been killed off in the Serena Cinematic Universe.
What are some weirdly specific things that you consider to be red flags in men?
When they won't let me peg them. Like, why? You don't like coming? When they wear sandals in public even though their feet are crusty. When they make fun of people who believe in astrology. When the first compliment they give me is that I'm strong. I'm strong? Really? You think I want to be this way? When they don't like wigs. Like, you don't like fucking different bitches? When they want to own more than one car. Hustle and grind if that comes out of their mouth. If they agree with anything that Elon Musk or Bill Gates has said. When they don't like Beyonce, like there's no mentally sane person that has a problem with Beyonce. When they don't wear jewelry, like why? What's your purpose then? And finally, when they're too happy, like what are you happy about?
What are some weirdly specific things that you consider to be red flags in men?
Oh my God, when they refuse to neuter their dogs. When they flat out refuse to neuter their male dogs because they, and not for breeding purposes, just because they don't want to. I had a guy come over one time with an intact male dog, and I have a spayed female, He would not stop trying to hump her. She was not having it. She was biting and barking and just so pissed. And I was like, dude, get your dog off of my dog. And you know what he said to me? He said, he's just trying to get some. He thinks she's sexy. Sir!
What are some weirdly specific things that you consider to be red flags in men?
Liking Batman. Just liking Batman. If you're a dude who's really into Batman, I don't trust you. You have issues. You need to...